Cyclists will always be cyclists, but sometimes we don't even bring our bike, we don't have the time, or it's not the perfect weather. So running is the best exercise for a cyclist on the go. Today, because I'm not an expert, I brought our own Heather from GCN.
Oh.
She's gonna help us out with some tips and exercise to get better at this.
Cool, thank you, Maya. Yes, I mean, running is great and there are so many benefits for cyclists as well. To start with, you can do it pretty much anywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's raining or even snowing. If you don't have much time, going for a run, even as little as 20 minutes, will still have a benefit, and it's going to help with your bone density. And all you need is a pair of running shoes, some shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm going to be bringing you some tips and some exercises to help you enjoy running and stay injury-free. And guess what? You're even allowed to wear socks.
Yeah, and it's easy. No helmet, no cycling shoes, and no bike. Let's go. Building up slowly is really important because as a cyclist we tend to overdo it. We just want to run fast and for too long and we just get injured.
Yeah, it's really common because as cyclists you're going to have that fitness and you've probably got really good endurance. You just want to go out and run. But if you're not careful, this can lead to injuries like Maya says, because your body is not going to be ready for that stress that you get from the impacts of running.
Okay, I've got some points to get us started. Point 1. Start really slowly. Build gradually.
Yeah, it's a really good idea to have a realistic goal and target, as that's going to help keep you motivated as you hit those targets. And it is easy to go out a little bit too soon if you enjoy your first run and get carried away, but you're going to have that cardiovascular fitness, but you're less likely to have the conditioning. So if you are new to running, stick to doing just 20 minutes to start with. And it obviously depends if you've done any running in the past or not as to how many breaks you're going to have, but a good starting guide point would be to run for 3 minutes, have a minute of walking and do that 5 times through.
Yeah, it's better to do less and to finish wanting to run more, not the other way around. Point 2. Find a dirt path to run. If you can avoid the pavement, better.
Yeah, it's a great point because it's going to reduce that impact when your legs aren't ready for it. So if you can find some grass, some sand or even gravel, it's all going to be kinder on your legs than running on asphalt.
Yeah, running in uneven terrain even makes you work harder because you're working your stabilizing muscles and sometimes even your core.
Yeah, exactly. But don't go too off-road too soon because if your legs aren't quite ready for it, you could end up twisting an ankle or something.
Point 3, move the joints.
Yeah, a dynamic warm-up is really important to help get your joints moving in a different direction because cycling is a very unilateral movement and you'll find that your joints are basically moving in the same plane of motion all the time.
Yeah, for this, leg swings are perfect. What you have to do is find something to grab or just someone to hold you for balance. And then with one leg, start swinging front to back and then change legs. And the other one is start with the right leg, crossing from one side to the other and then switch sides and you're done.
Yeah, another exercise that's really great for opening up the front of your hip are walking lunges. And this is an area that gets really tight as cyclists. And it's also going to actually challenge a little bit of your coordination and your core as you want to make sure it's a really controlled movement and you're also keeping your body nice and upright.
Point 4, strengthening your feet.
Yeah, it's really easy to overlook your feet and the small muscles that are surrounding the area because when it comes to cycling, it doesn't actually do too much work. But when it comes to running, your feet and all the muscles in your lower leg are going to be working overtime.
Yeah, talking about it, it's important to do some exercises to strengthen your feet, just walking barefoot on the sand or in the grass. Or if you wanted to take it a step farther, you can use a physio band.
Yeah, if you want to know more on that, we've actually done a video over on GCN on strength and conditioning for the lower legs, so go check that out.
Point 5, choose your running shoes wisely.
Yeah, this one leads on nicely from foot strength. Choosing the right running shoe can make such a difference to your running experience. So you want to make sure you get a trainer that's got the right amount of support and cushioning to suit you.
Okay, Heather, I think we've covered all the basic tips, but do you have any extra for us?
Yeah, I think it's just a good idea to bear in mind that cycling is so different from running. So don't be disheartened when you set out because after all, you're suddenly going to be weight bearing and it's a lot for your body to adapt to. So have that realistic goal and start with a run walk strategy because you can always build up from that.
You've talked about all the difference there is between running and cycling, but is there something that's the same?
Yeah, there actually is. When you're ready to progress, you can actually start to implement some of the training that you would do on the bike over to the run. So for example, you might break your cycling week up with a longer ride, a tempo session and some speed work. Well, there's no reason you can't just carry that over to your running workouts too.
Some people prefer cycling because you can go way quicker and farther, and you can carry your own food and your water. What would you say to those cyclists?
Okay, yes, admit you can go further when you're cycling, but there's loads of places that you can go running that you can't get on a bike, so you get to find out new routes. Commute's actually a great way for finding new places. And as for the snacks, you're not going to be going for as long, so you shouldn't really need to have any snacks with you. But do make sure on that note that you eat long enough in advance, because jiggling up and down is going to be a little bit different to being on the bike, so you can find you end up with a little uncomfortable stomach. So just make sure you have your meal long enough before.
Yeah, running with food on your stomach is never a good idea. Okay, it all sounds great, but how often should I run?
Well, recovery is key when you're starting any new sport, and now running especially, you really need to respect running because you've got that impact that you're coming with, weight bearing. And when you're cycling, yes, you know, you can get on the bike day after day and your bottom might be a little bit sore, but you're not really going to be affecting your joints or your bones. So it's really important to build it up gradually, but to make sure that you get at least a day of rest in between each one, and then hopefully you'll be able to continue running for much longer and actually see a bigger improvement overall.
Great points there, Heather. Thank you very much. I think you convinced most of us cyclists to go there and try some running. But what do you think of those that still thinking about it?
Do you know, the main selling point for me of running is the time efficiency. You can get so much work out of a really short space of time compared to cycling. And after all, you can do it pretty much anywhere. And all you need is a pair of running shoes.
Next time you find yourself with just half an hour to do exercise, why not pop on your trainers and just give it a go?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I am slightly biased, but I think you can't beat that feeling of coming back from a good run. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed it and you're motivated enough to go out for a run. Give us a thumbs up, like if you are, and hit the globe on screen to subscribe to GCN.
If you want to see another GCN video, just click down here.
And if you want to see a conditioning video over on GTN, go and check that out down here.
Let's go, Heather. We just have half an hour.
Quick!